Hello, my name is Jason Mallory. This is my TEDx 2014 Burning Man TED Talk tryout, and I hope you enjoy it. Here goes. We are on the cusp of the robotic age and a new renaissance for humanity. This will bring about some major changes to include an end to the working class system as we now know it. It will be a decommodification of humanity and will enable greater freedom for people than ever before. Average people will be able to find fulfillment and purpose in things like art, sports, nature, culture, and love. And this freedom will be brought on by the use of technology. Technology only evolves. It is a natural progression, and we cannot stop it. We can't stop it even though it has the potential to break our entire economic system, or do even worse. For to not use technology would be to disrupt the hierarchy of power and stifle innovation and freedom. But to adopt technology correctly can evolve civilization as a whole. And my idea is how to do just that. I am Jason Mallory, the author of a science fiction book titled Proxy: When Robots Work Better. It is set in a future world where robotics and automated labor have replaced most people at their jobs, and thus the unemployment rate is over 50%. There is a broken consumer cycle and a terrible economy, and a civil war brewing from that. In real life, there's a lot of debate over the economic impact of technologies that replace humans in the workforce. I am not here to debate that. If you're interested in that very interesting debate, I suggest the TED Talks of Andrew McAfee and Eric Brynjolfsson, and more so the book Lights in the Tunnel by Martin Ford, which you can get for free on his website, and which not only is a good debate of this issue, but poses possible courses of action that I find truly valuable. Rather than discuss the mainly dystopic economic predictions, I would rather talk about how we can achieve the American dream. How all of us can have real freedom. Not just the freedom to take whatever job you might be qualified for, but the freedom to spend your time how you would like to, and with the people that you would like to, and with reasonable resources for you to use. This will be possible when machines are doing most of the work and humanity is free to become something more than human resource. Suppose we reasonably reach that point in 30 years, and technology is performing at least 1 out of every 2 jobs, and we have a 50% unemployment rate. What would need to happen to turn that economic depression into a renaissance of freedom? Are you guys ready for my idea? Because my idea is how to do that. I've boiled it down to 2 basic components. One component is a policy to adapt our economic framework, and another component is the infrastructure to administrate that policy. The infrastructure is very similar to what the Department of Motor Vehicles is for cars, but for robotics and automated labor. A Department of Automated Labor. A DMV for robots. The DMV determines which cars are street legal, and who should or should not be driving them. The Department of Automated Labor will do the same thing for robots. Let's say I had a shopping mall, and I needed security around it. I could just use the Terminator, right? Probably not. But robots driving around with cameras providing video surveillance is probably okay. The Department of Automated Labor would be where that stuff gets figured out. It is the logistical infrastructure. Now, the major part of this idea is the policy. And the policy is as follows. Every citizen has the right to one equal share of the automated labor force, an equal vote for what it performs, and a fair share of what it produces. I'll repeat that. Every citizen has the right to one equal share of the automated labor force, an equal vote for what it performs, and a fair share of what it produces. There are three parts to this policy. The first part, every citizen has the right to one equal share. This means that the automated labor force would be publicly owned, and the government will have some degree of control over robotics and such, similar to the degree of control that the DMV has over cars. This means that robotic labor would not be privately owned, which prevents any individual or industry from controlling the means to production in a monopolistic way, or in any way that could be a military threat. In actual practice, a corporation would not be able to simply buy a bunch of robots and fire all the humans. Instead, robots would be rented to that corporation through the Department of Automated Labor. And the robots would work in place of the now unemployed citizenry who own those robots. In this way, the consumer base can maintain ownership of the workforce, and that very core problem gets solved. We've never seen a separation of the consumer base from the workforce on the scale that we will from robotics, and fixing that's a big issue that this does. The rental fee for the robot would pay for the privatized manufacture of the robot, as well as a living wage for the displaced human workers. The second part of the policy is an equal vote for what automated labor performs. This would enable humans to stay in control of humanity's destiny, and not just a very few number of people who control all of the labor. This law is based on the same principles as democracy, and is the preservation of democracy in the robotic age. Basically, if the automated labor force is a shared ownership, then citizens can vote for what their share of it does or does not do. And the moral authority that democracy provides can govern over robotics as it has done over people. And through voting, we can decide what is street legal for a robot, among many other things. The last part is a fair share of what automated labor produces. This is a needed payment system to provide a living wage to all citizens, regardless of where the unemployment rate may go. The economic necessity of this payment is to maintain a consumer base, and thus the consumer cycle and a thriving capitalist economy. Citizens would be paid a living wage for taking on the responsibility of understanding and voting for what their share of the automated labor force does. That will not take nearly as much time as a full-time job, and therein lies the freeing of the working class, and a real evolution to our civilization. This payment system will in no way prevent people from becoming employed, or from starting a business and utilizing robotic labor and becoming rich. What it will do is enable capitalism to function properly after most of the humans are made obsolete in the workforce, which consequently would mean no consumer base or social stability without a payment system of some type. And rather than using a simple welfare payment, this way, people are required to prove understanding and vote on the conduct of robotics. And thus the payment buys society a well-informed and active voting populace, or in other words, a better democracy. So those are the three parts. And that is my idea, a DMV for robots and a policy to adapt automation technologies into our society so we can produce more freedom. And I'm Jason Mallory, and I hope you enjoyed hearing about my idea. And for TEDx Black Rock City, I was a former TEDx South Lake Tahoe speaker. That event was postponed twice and then canceled. John was trying to put me into TEDx Black Rock City last year. I'm the guy that was told to load up his slides and then didn't get to talk. Um, Hopefully, I get to do it this year. Let me know. Please get back to me, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.